Hi, folks. My name is Carlos Garcia, and I'm a sales and communications expert. I'm also an Exactly What to Say certified guide. And what I actually want to talk to you about is this little book that's called Exactly What to Say. This is originally written by Phil M. Jones, who is a master of communication, persuasion, and influence. And what we've actually done as part of the Reframe community in the accounting industry, my brother Hector Garcia and myself, we built a custom edition for accounting, bookkeeping, and tax professionals who want to learn how to improve their communication skills so that they can get more out of their client relationships, they can build better relationships, and attract higher value types of relationships. Now, this book is not anything around manipulating or trying to make people do things. It's more about how to be more intentional and more effective in communicating your intention, especially in the high stakes kind of conversations when we're thinking about pricing conversations, when a client is asking you certain questions that is challenging maybe your authority or your credibility, or you're struggling to get clients to submit their documents or do things you want them to do. There are ways that you can share specific sequences of words in conversations through curiosity and empathy, where you can guide and lead the conversation and you can guide and lead the customer to feel comfortable in making some of these very difficult or maybe potentially scary decisions, because you're in the finance world and there are financial decisions can be scary, can create a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of conversations about the future, the unknown. What if I get an IRS letter? What if I get audited? What if my tax bill is going to be more than I expected? What if, what if, what if? This is an industry that is filled with anxiety and uncertainty. And as a financial professional, especially as an accounting professional, our roles is to try to bring clarity to our clients and try to diminish any of that anxiety and bring them that calm energy, that support, and the leadership that they need so that they can move forward with clarity. So, I want to share with you a couple of concepts about this book that I feel is going to help you elevate your professionalism, your communication skills. You're going to be able to charge and attract higher paying clients, and you're going to be able to keep the clients that value who you are as a professional. Because oftentimes, clients don't value your work. They might say things like, oh, that's just bookkeeping, or all you're doing is plugging in things into a keyboard. Tell me if I'm wrong, right? And what we want to try to do is we want to help them reframe how they see us as their trusted professional. We can only do that through conversation, through really good conversation, by remaining curious, by asking more questions. That's how you articulate and help them see the value of who you are as their service professional and as their expert that's going to guide them through all their journey, their financial journey. So let me just share a couple of concepts for you to think about. The first one is the worst time to think about the thing you're going to say is in the moment you're going to say it. How many times do you show up to a conversation kind of winging it, right? And there are some risks with that. Now, I'm sure because you are a professional, you do a little bit of homework before showing up. But what we cannot predict is how the client is going to respond when you ask them a specific question or when you share a specific type of information. Especially we're talking about pricing, or we're talking about strategies, or we're talking about ways to do certain things. Your clients may come in and challenge you, or they may just not see the value in what it is you're looking to recommend, whether it's an action or a service or whatever that looks like. The worst thing you can do is show up unprepared for those moments, because what happens is the emotions run really high. And scientifically, it's been proven when your emotions are really high, we know that logic does not exist. So what do? We react emotionally. And when we react emotionally, there's not a lot of rationality or logic that comes behind it. And that puts us at risk of not being able to build trust with the client or losing an opportunity, diminishing that relationship. What we want to do in those very moments is be ready for them. So how do we do that? Is you want to take inventory and try to reflect and say, what are the moments that exist in my day-to-day practice on repeat where I know that it causes a little bit of anxiety and uncertainty for me? Because when it comes up, I get a little bit emotional. I might get nervous. I might get anxious. I might get angry. I might react a certain way. But instead, what I can do is know that if it's going to show up, could I say something in that very moment, slow it down, to bring it back down to neutral rather than bring the stakes high? And we can do that by asking questions, by remaining curious, by trying to understand the motivation behind what the client just said to trigger you, what the client just asked to maybe throw you off base. Could we just stay curious and say, I wonder why they're asking that question? Maybe you can ask them that. Help me understand what made you ask that. So these are some things that we can do to just slow things down and help the client also bring clarity and context to what they mean when they're going to share something with you. So that's the first thing. The worst time to think about the thing you're going to say is in the moment you're going to say it, which means you should show up prepared to every moment that could show up that might raise the stakes. That way you can remain curious and really understand, could you slow it down in those moments and know exactly what to say. I haven't shared any phrases yet, but there are magic words that go into this book. And these magic words, they actually speak to the subconscious, because the subconscious is the place where people make decisions. Consciously, we know kind of what's happening, but subconsciously, this is where we're actually making the decisions of what we want to do. When we decide to wake up, when we want to brush our teeth, when we're driving, these are just typical things that we're kind of doing subconsciously because we've done it on repeat. These are repetitive behaviors that are happening. And certain talk tracks and conversations are going to feed our subconscious with images that are either going to make us feel safe, good, smart, to know what's the next decision to make, or they're going to probably make us feel threatened, uncertain, and that is what typically leads most customers or most people when they are not ready to make a decision to uncertainty and to indecision. And that's really the enemy of progress in relationships. And so the reason why these are called magic words is so that we can speak directly to the subconscious and we can slowly influence and impact their decision-making abilities. We're leading clients to confidently make better decisions. And ultimately, we want to do this with integrity. So I'll give you one of the sequences so you can get a little bit of an idea of how to present just about anything to just about anyone and have higher probabilities of them being able to say yes to the thing it is you want them to do. The first is a sequence of words that says, I'm not sure if it's for you, but. I'm not sure if it's for you, but. The reason why these are is a magic sequence of words is because rather than you saying, you know what you should do, or you know what I recommend, you know what you need to do, most people, when someone comes at them with unsolicited advice or advice that they haven't earned to give yet, most of the times people will tend to feel defensive and say, who are you to tell me what I should or shouldn't do? So they get defensive and there's lower chances of someone taking that advice. We have to get away from becoming what Phil Jones calls an advice monster. We're just showing up, throwing up advice at everybody unsolicited, or we haven't earned the right to make that recommendation yet. So when you soften it up, the recommendation, by saying instead, hey, I'm not sure if it's for you, but what you're actually saying to the subconscious is, I'm not sure if it's for you. Little voice in the brain, which is the subconscious, kind of thinks internally and says, well, hang on a minute. Who are you to tell me what is for me or what isn't for me? So you create a little bit of curiosity and you create a little bit of a challenge. The other thing that you're doing is you're saying, I'm not sure if it is for you. The key word being it. It is very vague. And typically, our brain wants to predict and know everything. And so when someone says, I'm not sure if it's for you, our brain is also calculating and thinking in their head, what is it? What is it? I need to know what it is. Tell me. So you're activated is curiosity. You're getting the person's attention. And then the thing that even puts the cherry on top is saying the word but. When you're saying, I'm not sure if it's for you, but your brain goes to, what are you about to say next? Just like if anyone came to you and said, hey, you know what? You're great and I like working with you and it's been awesome, but typically your brain will kind of go towards the mode of, okay, what are you going to say next? I'm ready for you to drop the real thing that I care about. So when you present the sequence of words, I'm not sure if it's for you, but you're actually activating all these amazing things magically just to get someone's attention and to open the possibility of them considering to be open to what you're about to recommend. This is not a foolproof 100% guaranteed thing, but what you're doing is you're increasing your probabilities of getting someone's attention and open-mindedness to listen to what you're about to potentially present to them. And that's all we're trying to do, is increase our odds by raising our intentionality and our communication effectiveness. So I'll give you some examples that apply directly to the accounting industry. I'm not sure if it's for you, but we've developed a new quarterly planning strategy service that could save you a lot in taxes. Hey, I'm not sure if it's for you, but we have new software that has significantly reduced bookkeeping time for many of our clients. Hey, I'm not sure if it's for you, but we're hosting a seminar on recent changes in tax law that could impact your business. I'm not sure if it's for you, but we are now providing a fixed fee monthly service that allows you to be far more proactive. So you see, these scenarios could be helpful if you're trying to upsell something, make a recommendation for something, but not provide them with too much pressure, and have them be a lot more open-minded to saying yes to the thing that you're going to present. You could do this for all types of circumstances. What we've done in this little book is we've created accounting scenarios where you can present some of these ideas a lot more effectively. Now, this is not just about introducing things for people to do. This is not about you doing something to people, but this is one of the concepts. There's 23 magic words that you can use that are also questions. They're magical questions. One of them is, what do you know? And by being able to ask any question that starts with what do you know with a curious tone helps you gain context and what the other side knows about specific type of information, so that you can have a reference point of what they know. Maybe it's a pricing conversation. What do you know about how most accounting services work when it comes to an engagement? What do you know about the process that it takes for you to file an extension? So you can keep on asking different what do you know questions rather than assume you think they know a certain type of information, because oftentimes we suffer from wanting to solve too fast, from wanting to get the answer too fast. The idea behind this is for us to actually slow down, and that's why we want to stay curious. What do you know about recent tax law changes that affect businesses in your industry? What do you know about the proposed changes that could be put into legislation next year? What do you know about the benefits of accrual-based accounting compared to cash-based for a business of your size? So what you're doing is you're actually creating a little bit of doubt by inserting your knowledge base, and that way you're putting the position of authority back on your plate, the position of the expert back on your plate. And by earning that, that's how you create value. So some of these magic words and phrases are all in this book, and it'll give you the examples you can use so that you can be more prepared in conversations. And what I'd like you to do is take a look at the description below, as I have a link where my brother and I, we've actually built a virtual course for this and a customized implementation guide of even more examples that you could use from the book, so you could practice how to become a better communicator in high stakes professional conversations when you're talking about professional services for new clients, or when you're navigating very difficult type of client conversations, especially in existing engagements, pricing increases, when you're trying to help someone adopt a new tax strategy or a bookkeeping system, or moving everything to cloud, whatever circumstance you can think of. This system and framework is going to help you have much, much higher success in implementing it. So whatever questions you have, take a look at it in the description and check it out. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Happy to help. Thanks.